Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
And now Chapter 8, Bhakti Yoga, the Supreme Yoga System. Text 14. Tamimam te pravakshyami yamavocham puranaghe rishinam shrotu kamanam yogam sarvanga naipunam. Translation. O most pious Mother, I shall now explain unto you the ancient yoga system, which I explained formerly to the great sages. It is serviceable and practical in every way. Purport. The Lord does not manufacture a new system of yoga. Sometimes it is claimed that someone has become an incarnation of God and is expounding a new theological aspect of the absolute truth. But here we find that although Kapila Muni is the Lord himself and is capable of manufacturing a new doctrine for his mother, he nevertheless says, I shall just explain the ancient system that I once explained to the great sages, because they were also anxious to hear about it. When we have a super excellent process already present in Vedic scriptures, there is no need to concoct a new system to mislead the innocent public. At present, it has become a fashion to reject the standard system and present something bogus in the name of a newly invented process of yoga. The supreme ancient system of yoga pertains to the soul. Presently, in America especially, Hatha Yoga is very popular. It appeals to fat ladies who go to the classes to reduce and keep their digestive systems regular. Many people are interested in this kind of gymnastic yoga, but real yoga is Adhyatmika. Adhyatmika means to awaken the soul to his proper position. The soul is Purusha, spirit, and his business is to reconnect his lost relationship with Krishna. Herein Kapila Dev says that he previously delivered this yoga system to the great rishis, the great sages. This is the process of Shravan, hearing. One must be very eager to hear, for spiritual life begins with hearing. Ata Shri Krishna Namadhi Nabaved Grahyam Indriyai Sevan Mukhehi Jivadho Svayam Eva Sporatyada. From the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:2-234. It is thus stated in the Shastras that it is not possible to appreciate or understand Krishna with our blunt material senses. Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, paraphernalia, and abode are all part and parcel of Krishna. However, understanding Krishna begins with hearing and chanting his name. Then there is his form. Generally, for the neophyte, these items are essential: to hear his name and qualities and see and worship his form. That is Krishna's personal instruction. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuro, which means, quote, engage your mind always in thinking of me, offer obeisances and worship me, unquote. From Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 34. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is present in the temple deity, and even if a child comes to offer his respects, he is counted as a devotee. A small child may not know anything, but simply by seeing the deity, chanting and dancing, he is benefited. temples are meant to give everyone a chance to advance in Krishna consciousness, one step at a time. Svalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bayat, which means, quote, a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear, unquote. From the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 40. Even if we do a little on the path of bhakti, it goes to our account. For instance, if we deposit only $2 in a savings bank, it is kept in our account, and it will increase with interest. Similarly, if one performs even a little devotional service, it is not lost. One may come and join this Krishna consciousness movement, render some service, and after a while fall down. However, whatever service has been rendered is to one's permanent credit. That will never be lost. When one begins again, he begins at the point where he has left off. This is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 41. Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Vijayate, which means, quote, the unsuccessful yogi is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy, unquote. Thus, if one fails to perfect his bhakti yoga, he is given another chance in the next life. According to a Bengali poem, Shuchihaya Muchihaya Yadi Krishna Tyaje, Muchihaya Shuchihaya Yadi Krishna Bhaje, which means, if one takes to Krishna consciousness, even if he is born in a family of a cobbler, or Muchi, he becomes greater than a Brahmin, Shuchi. However, if one is born in a Brahmin family and gives up Krishna consciousness, he becomes a Muchi, a cobbler. Thus the door of devotion is open to everyone, whoever he may be. Krishna himself says that regardless of one's position, if one takes shelter of him, one can approach the supreme destination. Mamhi partha vyapashritya yepi syu papayonaya striyo vaishyas tata shudras tepi yanti param gatim, which means, quote, O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, or merchants, as well as Shudras, or workers, can approach the supreme destination, unquote. From the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 32. And Shukdev Goswami says, Kirata, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abira, Shumba, Yavana, Kasadaya, Yenye cha papa yad apashraya shraya, Shudyanti tasmai pravishnave namaha, which means, quote, Kirata, Huna, Andra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abira, Shumba, Yavana, and the Kasa races, and even others who are addicted to sinful acts, can be purified by taking shelter of the devotees of the Lord due to his being the supreme power. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto him, unquote. From the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 4, Verse 18. Krishna consciousness is so complete that it is all-embracing. Everyone has an occupational duty as a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, but one does not have to give up his occupational duty to take to Krishna consciousness. And if one takes to Krishna consciousness but does not succeed, what has he lost? Even if he falls down, there is no loss. On the other hand, if a man perfectly performs his own duties, svadharma, but is not Krishna conscious, what does he gain? There is actually no gain. Kapila Dev explains that once one takes to the path of Bhakti Yoga, one never actually falls down. Once begun, Bhakti Yoga continues, even if one temporarily falls down. One is given another chance by taking birth in a good family, either in a wealthy family, a learned family, or a Brahmin family. If one executes his duties as a Brahmin, Vishnu will be very pleased. And if one executes his duties perfectly as a Kshatriya or a Shudra, Vishnu will also be very pleased. One does not have to change one's position. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 46, Sri Krishna says that every man can become perfect by following his qualities of work. Yatha pravrittir bhutanam, yena sarvam idam tatam, svakarmana tam abhyarchya, siddhim vindati manava. Which means, quote, by worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all-pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. Unquote. Thus, if one executes his duties as a perfect Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or whatever, Vishnu will be pleased. The purpose of work is to please Vishnu. Unfortunately, people have forgotten this. Varnashram Dharma, the Vedic system of society, is therefore very important in that it is meant to give human beings a chance to perfect their lives by pleasing Krishna. Unfortunately, the Varnashram Dharma has been lost in this age. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to give relief to the rotting conditioned souls of this age of Kali Yuga, has given us the Maha Mantra. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatir Anyata. Which means, quote, in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Unquote. From the Brihan Naradiya Purana. Although we may try to revive the perfect Varnashram system, it is not possible in this age. People are fallen, disturbed, and unfortunate. Prayen al payusha sabya, kalavasmin yuge jana, manda sumanda matayo, manda bhagya upadruta. Which means, quote, O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. Unquote. From the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 10. In this age, there will be insufficient rainfall and food, and the government will plunder one's income by heavy taxation. All of these characteristics of Kali Yuga are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. People will become so disgusted that they will suddenly leave their wife and children and go to the forest. How can the peaceful Varnashram Dharma be revived when people are so harassed in this age? It is virtually impossible. Therefore, the system of Bhakti Yoga, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, should be adopted. The whole aim of Bhakti Yoga is to satisfy Vishnu. Yagnai Sankirtan Prayai. Vishnu, Krishna, came himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us the way of Sankirtan. Presently, it has become fashionable to manufacture a new system of religion. But Kapila Dev, like Krishna, does not manufacture anything new. This system is not new, but very old or pura. Krishna also says the same in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 2, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidhu, which means, quote, this supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way, unquote. Thus Krishna and Kapila Dev are not teaching anything new. They are simply repeating the same message because in the course of time the knowledge has been lost. Arjuna asks, why are you telling me? Why not another? Sri Krishna answers, Bhaktosi me sakha cheti, because you are my devotee as well as my friend. From the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 3. Thus, without being a bhakta, a devotee of Krishna's, one cannot actually understand the science of bhakti yoga. Understanding Bhagavad Gita means understanding Krishna. All this information is explained only in the Bhakti Sampradaya, not in any other school. Therefore, Krishna says at the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 55, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. If one actually wants to understand Krishna and one's relationship with him, one must take to this process of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, as explained by Lord Kapila Dev, is Sankhya Yoga. Lord Kapila Dev states here, Tam imam te pravakshyami yam avocham puranage. The word anage refers to one without sin. The word agha refers to past sins, and an means without. Therefore, one cannot understand Krishna consciousness unless he is free from sin. Yesham tvanta gatam papam. One can stick to Krishna consciousness only when one is completely free from all sinful reactions. One may say, that will take some time. I cannot get free from sinful reactions overnight. However, Krishna says, no, this can be done immediately. Simply surrender unto me, and I will absolve you from all sin. Thus, by simply surrendering unto Krishna, our spiritual life begins. We have to understand that we receive different bodies due to our sinful actions. Now we are given a chance to execute our duty in the human form. Bahunam janmanamante. We have received this body through the evolutionary processes, and this human form is a great opportunity. Narottam Das Thakur sings, Hari Hari Vipale Janama Gonainu, which means, quote, my dear Lord Krishna, I have simply wasted my time, unquote. Why? Manushya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Na Bhajya Janiya Shunya Visha Kainu, which means, quote, because I have received the human form of life, which is meant for understanding Krishna, yet I have simply wasted my time by not taking advantage of this opportunity. I have done everything but worship Radha Krishna. Therefore I have taken poison knowingly, unquote. When one takes poison knowingly, he commits suicide, and not taking advantage of the human form is something like that. If we do not understand Krishna in this life, we are knowingly taking poison. This material life is just like a blazing forest fire. Eating, sleeping, enjoying sex, and defending are the main material activities. When we are engaged simply in these things, our hearts are always burning as if we had taken poison. How can we be cured? Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan Ratina Janmila Kene Taya, which means, quote, "My dear Lord, you have given us the medicine of Harinam Sankirtan, the chanting of Hare Krishna. Unfortunately, I have no attraction for your holy names." Unquote. It is also stated, Brajendra Nandana Yehi Shachi Sutta Haila Sei Balaram Haila Nitai, which means, quote, "Krishna has now come as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Shachi, and Balaram has come as Lord Nityananda." Unquote. What is their business? They are delivering all kinds of sinful men simply by chanting Hare Krishna. And what is the evidence of this? The evidence is that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu delivered the sinful Jagai and Madai. At the present moment, everyone is like Jagai and Madai, for everyone is intoxicated and mad after sex. Now, by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, thousands of Jagais and Madais are being delivered. It is this active medicine, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, that is doing it. It is the perfect yoga system. This process is not manufactured, and we have not concocted anything. Our business is simply to accept the words of Krishna as they are. Sri Krishna himself characterizes his devotee in this way. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha drida vrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate, which means, quote, "Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion." Unquote. From the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 14. We do not need to be very learned. Our only requirement is that we receive the blessings of the Lord. The Lord's blessings will enable us to become learned and follow His instructions. We only need to stick to this Krishna consciousness movement on the basis of Bhagavad Gita. When we are a little further advanced, we can read Srimad Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has opened the way with this Sankirtan movement. The entire world is in darkness without Krishna consciousness, and in this age people are so dull that they do not even know the difference between mukti or liberation and bandha or bondage. If a human being does not know this difference, he is no better than an animal. Presently we are under the sway of the three gunas, the modes of material nature, sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. Out of these three gunas, sattva guna, the mode of goodness, is the best. A Brahmin characterized by the mode of goodness is truthful and self-controlled. He controls his mind and senses, and he is very tolerant and simple. He has full knowledge, and he knows how to apply knowledge in life. He has full faith in the authority of the Vedas, a quality called astikyam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained the difference between nastikyam and astikyam. According to Vedic understanding, one who does not believe in the Vedas is called Nastika. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Veda na manya bodha haya ta nastika," from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 6, verse 168. Lord Buddha defied Vedic authority, but his mission was to stop animal killing. In the Vedas there are recommendations for animal sacrifice, and therefore to prevent the killing of animals, Lord Buddha rejected the Vedas. Such sacrifice is not possible in this age because there is no Brahmin qualified to carry it out. Those who are intelligent know that such a sacrifice cannot be successful in this age because no one knows the proper mantras capable of giving an old animal the body of a new animal. When an animal sacrifice is properly conducted, an old animal is sacrificed, and it emerges from the fire in a new body. This is not possible in this age, but what is possible is Sankirtan Yagya, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is the yagya or sacrifice especially intended for this age. We need only chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By performing this yagya, the results will be Cheto Darpana Marjanam. The mirror of the mind will be cleansed. When the mirror of the mind is cleansed, one is automatically liberated. Consciousness is the main principle, either for conditional life or for liberated life. We are therefore proposing Krishna consciousness, which means liberation from the repetition of birth and death. Unfortunately, people are so dull in this age that they have no idea how birth and death can be stopped. They think that birth and death cannot be stopped. Even famous scientists admit this. However, in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that we should always keep in mind the four miserable conditions. These are birth, old age, disease, and death. When we are able to put an end to these, we are liberated. This simply requires that we clear our consciousness by thinking of Krishna. The purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement is to keep our minds constantly on Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and He is a person. When He was realized by Arjuna, He was addressed as Purusham. God is Purusha, male, not female. Purusha means the enjoyer, and Prakriti means the enjoyed. Everything is enjoyed by the Supreme Purusha. It is also stated that we are actually Prakriti, not Purusha. The human dress is simply Maya, illusion. We are thinking that we are Purusha, the enjoyer, but actually we are the enjoyed. A man thinking of enjoying himself tries to imitate Purusha, but actually he is Prakriti. As a consequence, he is cast into this material world. Because the living entity wants to enjoy the material world and is attached to the three gunas, he receives different types of bodies. One who is in the mode of goodness receives the body of a learned Brahmin. This is somewhat elevated, for he can gradually understand what is God. In the modes of passion and ignorance, no one can understand God. Also, from the material point of view, if one is situated in the mode of goodness, he can be elevated to higher planetary systems. Nonetheless, even if one goes to Brahmaloka, the highest planet in the material atmosphere, one is not actually perfectly situated. There is really no benefit because even on Brahmaloka, the four miseries of material existence are found: birth, old age, disease, and death. Lord Brahma also dies and takes birth. From Vedic literatures, we understand that Lord Brahma took birth from the lotus flower generated from the navel of Vishnu. Thus he had his birth, and when Lord Brahma dies, the entire material cosmic manifestation will be finished. Just as Lord Brahma undergoes birth, old age, disease, and death, so also a small ant or insect undergoes the same process. The point is that the living entity has to be free from this bondage because he is by nature eternal. According to Bhagavad Gita, the living entity never actually takes birth, and he never actually dies. Najayate mriyate va kadachit, which means, quote, for the soul there is never birth nor death, unquote. From the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 20. It is the body that is destined to die, whether the body be that of Lord Brahma or of a small ant. One should not think that one is liberated because one can live millions and millions of years. The life of Lord Brahma covers millions of earth years, yet he is also subjected to birth and death. That is the way of conditional life. We should take advantage of the perfect knowledge given by Vedic literatures, by the great rishis and Bhagavan Kapila Dev, as well as by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, in order to attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Receiving Krishna consciousness means receiving light. People are exhausted with the materialistic way of life, especially in the West. Now the Krishna consciousness movement is giving new life to Western society. By nature, we living entities are liberated. There is actually no question of birth, death, old age, and disease. Since we are part and parcel of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, how can there be a question of these things? Krishna is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, and being part and parcel of Krishna, we are also of the same nature. We are equal in quality, although not in quantity. Why then should we suffer the pangs of death? Therefore, in the previous verse, Kapila Dev instructed, Yoga Atyatmika Pumsam Mato Nishreyasaya. The soul is entrapped in the body, and the process of perfect yoga is the process of saving the soul from bodily confinement and the four miseries that plague the body. How can this perfect yoga be attained? That is explained by Lord Kapila in the next verse. Ratam va pumsi muktaye. If our consciousness is simply attached to Krishna, we will be liberated. The great souls are always chanting about Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. They are also endeavoring with great determination in their devotional service. For instance, in the Krishna consciousness temples, the devotees rise early in the morning at 4 a.m. and they immediately bathe. Then they go to Mangal Arti at 4:30. And after Mangal Arti, they study the Vedic literatures. These are the processes by which we can awaken our dormant love for Krishna. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, just as a son is part and parcel of his father, there is a natural love between us. However, somehow or other the son leaves home and forgets his father. The father, of course, never forgets his son. He thinks, "Oh, my son has left. If he would only come back." Krishna thinks in this way. We are all sons of Krishna, and Krishna is more anxious to get us back home, back to Godhead, than we are to go. Therefore Krishna comes and says, "You rascal, give up all this nonsensical material engagement. You have manufactured so many religions and dharmas. Just give them all up and simply surrender unto me." Krishna comes himself and leaves behind his words. His words are also himself, because his words are absolute. Presently we do not see Krishna, but if we actually advance, we will see him. When we see the deity in the temple, we think, "Oh, this is an idol. It is not Krishna." If we think in this way, we have not seen Krishna. Krishna is also present in his words in Bhagavad Gita. That is Krishna Vani, the message of Krishna. The stage of awareness of Krishna can be attained when one is advanced in Krishna consciousness. Then one can understand that Krishna is present in the deity, in Bhagavad Gita, in the taste of water, in the sunshine, in the moonshine, and in all sound. Krishna is present everywhere, but one has to acquire knowledge in order to know how to see Krishna. That is mukti, liberation. That is Krishna consciousness. That is also the process of bhakti yoga, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Deity worship is Archanam, chanting is Vandanam, and Dasyam is working for Krishna and spreading this Krishna consciousness movement. Generally, we experience that people are primarily interested in seeing Krishna. But why is the emphasis on seeing? Let us hear about him. We must come with a little faith, and as we hear, that faith will increase. One should come to the temple, listen to talks about Krishna, and then, after some time, officially take initiation into the service of the Lord. That is called Bhajana Kriya. At that time, one has to abandon illicit sex, intoxication, meat-eating, and gambling. If one is still attached to all these habits, he should know that he is not making progress. When one is actually advanced in Bhajana Kriya, all these anarthas, or unwanted things, will be finished. Param drishtva nivartate. When one appreciates something better, he rejects all kinds of nonsense. Once one gets a taste of Krishna consciousness, he cannot remain without it. A drunkard cannot remain without a drink, but a devotee is drunk with Krishna consciousness. The immunization against all material diseases is this Krishna consciousness. To be immune to the infection of the gunas, we have to engage in bhakti yoga. Once we attain the perfectional stage, we attain ecstatic love of Godhead. In that state, we cannot remain without Krishna for a moment. That is called bhava, and that bhava may increase to mahabhava. This is not possible for ordinary human beings, but it was possible for the gopis and Radharani. Indeed, they could not live without Krishna. This is the highest stage of liberation.